So today we are starting the second unit of the economic development of India. In the second unit, we will see the reforms, economic reforms since 1991. So major reforms that have been taken after 1991, that were liberalization, privatization and globalization. Commonly we generally use the name that is LPG approach. So it's an appraisal of liberalization, privatization and globalization in chapter number 3. Dear friends, before starting this, I will like to recall some of the major things that our economy has started in a positive direction from 1950, when we have launched the first 5-year plan. The first 5-year plan, we have given emphasis and focus was on the agriculture. In the second 5-year plan, which was mainly based on the PC Mahalanobis model, we have given the emphasis on the industrial development. And in the third 5-year plan, we have started the green revolution, especially the high yield variety seeds and new technologies. So that era was continued till 1990, till the 7th 5-year plan, and till then we have achieved a considerable and satisfactory economic infrastructure in our country. So the first 5-year plan started in 1950. Main focus was on agriculture. Second 5-year plan, main focus on industrial development. And third 5-year plan, to be self-reliant and self-sufficient. So the green revolution started. This process continues of the infrastructural development, especially with main emphasis on the heavy industries and dominant role of public sector units or public sector undertakings, PSU. The government had its control, and we have followed to protect our domestic industries with import substitution policy and umbrella type policy. So this continued till the 7th 5-year plan till 1990. Now, in these 40 years, from 1950 to 1990, in these 40 years, we have achieved this, a substantial and considerable growth in economy, but there were some other things, some other standards and measures we could not achieve them. Now, at this juncture, it was a need to rethink and to change. Why? So today we will discuss that the new policy reforms of liberalization, privatization and globalization, these decisions were taken in 1991, and this is also known, commonly known with the name of the New Economic Policy, NEP of 1991. So dear friends, what were the background that time? We should consider that, we should analyze that background, that what were the main situation or that time circumstances which had compelled us to take such type of policy related decisions in the year 1991. So the background of the study need to understand the economic issues of that time. Which time? In the late 1980s. Because in late 1980s we have been compelled to go for such the new economic policy related decisions. So number one, the low economic growth in terms of GDP. GDP is the gross domestic product, which is the express the market value of all goods and services, all final goods and services produced in a country in a year. But in this GDP, the industrial sector has not done as it was expected in our 5-year plans. So low economic growth in the terms of GDP, and especially the low performance of public sector undertakings of the PSUs. Second, the adverse BOP situation. BOP stands for the balance of payments. Balance of payment is also an individual chapter in our macroeconomics. So it is related to the payments for the imports and exports and capital related. So high current account deficit was there. So it led to the foreign exchange crisis, and we had to import a lot of goods and services, commodities from the rest of the world. So it again create a pressure of the money crisis, because when we are importing something, we have to pay for it. So the burden of imports of goods and services was also there, and the high payments of importing crude oil. See, crude oil is a very important source of the energy, and without crude oil we cannot run our economy, and any economy cannot be run by the crude oil. So at that time, in the 1990s time, there was a war between US and Iraq. So it has also led to the increase in the prices of the crude oil. So again, the high payments of importing crude oil, because of main reason, instant reason was US Iraq war. So prices increased to a great manner. Then this is very important point, government earnings were less than expenditure. See, it is related to the budget, government budget. When the expenditure of government exceeds to the receipts of the government, then this situation comes. This is known as the budget deficit. And huge amount and pressure of foreign debt and borrowings from IMF and World Bank. We have already taken a lot of money in the form of loans and borrowings from other countries and the international financial institutions like World Bank and IMF. So with the repayments of these loans, then interest we also need to pay. So it was again a pressure. And the sharp and uncontrolled rises in the price of essential goods means inflation. When there is a uncontrolled rise in the price of the general goods which are of the daily use, then it is called inflation.
नहीं चले जाता 10 मिनट तक का
नहीं